What's going on, guys? Tonight we got a potential mystery on our hands. So, by first looks, of course, it looks like a Gator Jigsaw. I'm assuming the seeds were bought as a Mustard Bhutlah. But is it a Gator Jigsaw? Because I have two here. And I've seen Bhutlahs kind of take on shape like this. But this definitely looks like a Gator Jigsaw. Mine looks slightly different, the jigsaws I'm growing, but not by much. So maybe we can decipher which one it is by eating them. So I'm going to play a little game. Oh, jeez. There's a very, very strong smell coming from it. Really cool looking interior. Very mustardy inside there. Here, let's see. There we go. That's better. Beautiful interior. Almost all the pith is on one side. Just a very grassy, vegetal, floral scent. Yeah, it's hard to tell by smell, I'll tell you that much. Let's see if we can tell by flavor. All right, so first bite was very, very fruity. A slight grassiness to it. Not very strong. Very pleasant. The second half went very floral. Pungent. I'd say floral and grassy. So when I first bit into it, I said the fruitiness, and there was no heat. It was just a fruity, grassy, pleasant flavor. The second half is where all the heat was. Now it's starting to build. But at first I was going to say, it definitely seems like a Gator Jigsaw. But the second bite made me double think that. As the heat started coming in. And they have really, really strong floral. I've had plenty of Bhutlahs that the floral was very overpowering. Gator Jigsaws have gotten pretty hot, but I've never had a Gator Jigsaw that was just like extremely mind-blowingly hot. Any that I've ever eaten was actually very pleasant. Excuse me. Very pleasant in many ways. It wasn't extremely hot. It was bearable, good heat, with just a really, really pleasant flavor. This one started out that way. And then it made me second guess it and think, is this a Bhutlah? Because the heat started coming in. I say it ramped me up to a 4 right off the bat. All right, well, let's see the second one. Let's see how we feel. So the second one was kind of different. It was fruity, grassy, floral, and earthy all the way through. Definitely more balanced. I think that's what that first one was lacking. Excuse me. Burp. Still delicious. Excuse me. Burp. So the second one had a little tiny bit of bitterness too with it. First one wasn't as balanced, but it was smoother. The second one was definitely more balanced in the flavor profile. Kind of covered everything at once. But with the bitterness, it made it less smooth. Heat didn't really go anywhere. I say I pretty much parked right at a 4, riding that. Still taste the floral for sure. Say a little bit of fruitiness and a little grassiness left in my mouth. With the most dominant flavor being floral. But again, I talk about it a lot, but floral isn't always a bad note when it's accompanied by other notes. There's a certain level of floral that hits. It just becomes very, very, a good word that some people question whether it's the right word to use is the perfect word. For my understanding of it, and that's a very perfumey. The combination, it's like a very bitter floral is typically what I tend to not like. Very fruity floral or an earthy floral can be pleasant. Even a grassy floral, as long as it has other notes in there. It's a lot of times when you get grassy and floral. Sometimes you'll get some citrus notes in there, and that makes it pleasant. But when you get a bitter floral pepper, typically the floral is very, like I said, just very perfumey, very pungent. Sometimes it's hard to get it down. Definitely very mild burn. That's why it's almost hard to say, because I feel like any Bhutlah I've ever had has always been hotter than the Gator Jigsaws that I've had. So I want to say it is a Gator Jigsaw, but I have seen some Bhutlahs come out in weird shapes like that. That's just not typically the pheno people go for. But Bhutlahs usually burn pretty aggressively, whereas this one's not as aggressive. It's a very mellow burn. It's strong, but very manageable. Anybody just getting into eating super hots could probably handle that one. So the other flavors have disappeared in my mouth, and I'm still getting this floral flavor just revolving around my mouth. Maybe a slight grassiness left. I taste a little bit of grassiness or earthiness. Heat is pretty much gone. It started falling off, and I almost didn't even have time to say anything with how quickly it dropped off. So it was a mellow burn, but it did come in really fast. Excuse me, pepper burp. Pretty much as soon as I took my second bite of the first pod, it hit me all at once. And that's kind of how it dropped off. Still a very delicious pepper. Burn's gone. I'm getting little burps every now and then that I'm still tasting it, but flavor is pretty much gone. So yeah, we don't know whether that was a Mustard Bhutlah or a Gator Jigsaw. Speculation at this point. All right, guys, burn daily.